Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm super hyped to announce tonight's guest. I'm joined by the awesomeness that is Violet Vendetta, aka Lady Anna. How are we doing?
Hello.
You good?
I'm all good, thank you. Very well. Just suffering from hay fever.
Yes, I think the majority of people will be able to sympathise and be sat there like waterfall noses sometimes. So we'll muddle through. As I said to you beforehand, if we need to take a sneeze break,
Yeah.
it's perfectly fine. So, yeah, as I sort of mentioned, hyped for this conversation. Random fact, it's what kind of brought this about is I kind of interviewed you years ago via email kind of thing. I sent you a load of questions, you answered them. They got published in like a wrestling fanzine that I won't mention, but yeah, so we've crossed paths before, and you were one of the first ever people that I interviewed for something wrestling related. So yeah, hi, welcome back.
Hello. I did actually I think it was either that interview or somebody tagged me in another older interview on Twitter that I looked at, and I was just like so embarrassed because I was like, oh, it was like so long ago. Yeah, I've grown a lot since then.
You and Chris Travis were on the cover at the time, so it was back in the day. Yeah, so shout out to Chris. But yeah, obviously, like before I hit record, I was sort of saying to you, I remember seeing you at HXC quite a few times back in the day. So obviously, I kind of, had a quick look on Cage Match, getting some history, refreshing myself, with what you've done. And I think it was what 2014. I want to say you kind of sort of made your debut.
Yeah. Well, I think I had my first match in 2012. I think that was my first year of wrestling. But like worked really picked up for me 2014. Yeah, definitely. Because I when you've just tagged me in that cage match thing of like all my information, I've never seen that before.
So go have a look.
Just went on there, and I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot about all this. I've done a lot." But yeah, I noticed 2014 was like my biggest. Yeah, I think it was 2014 and 15 that were like my busy years.
Oh, it's just, I mean, looking through the names as well, though. I mean, obviously, yeah, you kind of went from there to like 2018. A bit of a hiatus. Came back a couple of years ago. But yeah, that first sort of 4 years, that's on Cage. The names that are just jumping out are just, you got like Nixon, Newell on there, Toni Storm, Viper. It's like a who's who of household names now, kind of thing. And you were standing shoulder to shoulder with them.
I know. I think I wrestled most of my matches with Toni. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Toni. She was just a great girl, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so happy that she's doing so well now. I'm so happy for her. She deserves it.
Yeah, I don't know if I always kind of got that vibe. When you kind of look at, sometimes you think, yeah, okay, they can go as far as they want to go, kind of thing. If they push themselves, the sky's the limit, kind of thing. But the other name that kind of jumped out was I kind of lost count of how many times you've been in the ring with Lana Austin.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Lana have wrestled quite a lot over the years as well. I think she was like I think she was like my third ever match as well. And I think it was like one of her first matches. So I feel like we've both kind of grown together. But then like I took my break, and then she carried on, and now she's just this mega superstar. And I'm so proud of her as well. She's done so well for herself.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, she's kind of, because again, I followed it for that long. I kind of remember when you both kind of started out, you're both kind of, fresh faced, and yeah, the trajectory was just a massive upward curve, and you both sort of smashing it. So right, we'll tick the generic sort of box then. So back in the day, what made you sort of take them first steps into the training school?
I'm going to say that word a lot.
Coming away, it's fine.
I was always a huge fan of wrestling. Always a huge fan of wrestling. And a lot of my friends at the time, I had a lot of like male mates because they were all into wrestling as well. And there was just one particular of my friends like printed off some information on the internet about a training school that was in Stoke. It was called GBH at the time. But it got changed to BWA, which was ran at the time by somebody called Chris Curtis, who trained, I think he originally trained Rampage. And who else was there? I think Dino started out there, maybe. I might be wrong there, but I think he went there a few times. There's a few other people as well that came out of there. But anyway, I was 18 at the time, and this was, I can't remember what year it was. It was a long time ago now. But I was going to go to my first training session when it was still GBH, but I ruptured a hernia. Only me. So I ruptured a hernia, and so I had to have an operation done, and my scar ended up being bigger than what it should have been. So I required a lot more rest than I needed. And then I just, over time, I was just like doing other stuff as well. Like I was working in a rock bar at the time called the Sugar Mill, and I was just like really into my, my metal music and stuff. And so we had a lot of bands playing. So I was, I was just really into that scene. So I just kind of forgot about wrestling for a bit. But then years later, the same friend said to me, there's still a school in Stoke, like if you ever wanted to, give it a go. So I was just like, do you know what? Yeah, sure, I'm going to try it out. And then I had my first session. I was in total pain the next day. I was in so much pain. But I don't know, I loved it. I just got such a rush from it. And I didn't even know I wasn't planning to wrestle. I just wanted to see what it was all about. I just wanted to see what a training session was for pro wrestling. And so I think in that session, I learned how to do some rolls, and I did some lockups. And I don't know, it was just being there and just learning it. I was like, this is awesome. And I really liked it. So it just kind of went from there. And again, I didn't know what my plan was. I didn't know if I wanted to wrestle or not. And the trainer at the time was just like, oh, you've got quite a unique look. You've got like dark hair, and, you've got some tattoos. I had some tattoos at the time. And so he was just like, you'd probably make quite a good like valet as well. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm up for trying anything. So yeah, it went from there. But unfortunately, the training was only once a month.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was literally training once a month. So like it was really hard. And at the time, because I was so new, I didn't know that other places existed. Like, I didn't know that there was just Future Shock up the road, on the train in Manchester. I had no idea. I didn't know anybody in wrestling as well. So I just continued with this monthly training. And it wasn't until like, I don't know, maybe 12 months later, 6 to 12 months later, like there was other people that came to training and said, oh, there's other places to go to. And then I think it was my trainer was just like, I've been booked on a show, which was AWW in Birmingham. And he said, do you want to have a go at being my valet? So I was like, yeah, sure, I'm up for it. Like, I'd love to. So I went to a show with him in Birmingham, just to see what it was all about, and, experience being in front of a live crowd, and, being the character that I wanted to be, and being a bad guy. And so, because I loved Sherry Martel, she was amazing. Like, I loved watching her. She was just so good. But also, like, I am an Attitude Era girl, so like, Stephanie McMahon did it for me. It was, I'm going to keep going off on tangent, by the way.
Go. It's fine.
So I loved wrestling. I loved watching wrestling. But was it Armageddon 1999 or 2000 when Stephanie got fake married to Triple H? And she was dead angry. So it was Vince McMahon versus Triple H. And at the very end, she switched. Oh my God. I was like, oh, that's amazing. I want to do this. And that's what like really did it for me. So it wasn't the actual physical wrestling that made me want to wrestle. It was like her emotions and her character and how she just switched the way she switched. And I was like, this is amazing. So watching Sherry Martel and Stephanie McMahon, like I was like, I want to be a valet this way when I want to be a valet. So that's like the women I used for when I was like working. But yeah, so I did a WW with my trainer, and then I had such a buzz. It was so good. It was my trainer, Chris Curtis, at the time, and he was on with GM Hunter from the Hunter Brothers, and it was just so much fun. And then I think a few days later, the promoter got in touch with me, and he was just like, "We really enjoyed you. You got such a great look. You were really great with the crowd. We want you back." So from there, like they started booking me again and booked me with like another guy, which was I can't remember his last name. I only know his real name.
Was it Wahoo Thunderfoot? Was it? That name is awesome. If it wasn't Wahoo.
No, it was that's gonna bug me. It'll come to me at the end and then I'll shout it out. But anyway, from networking like that, that's when I learned that there was all these other promotions all over the UK, and I was like, oh my God, there's wrestling in England. I just thought it was just an American thing, and there was just a few training schools. But then obviously, I soon learned that all these other places were around. There's so many more training schools. So that's when I went to Future Shock a few times, and I went to House of Pain as well. I tried it there. But like back then when I was wrestling, I got told, you'll learn on the road. You'll learn as you go. That's how I was taught. And at the time I didn't drive, and there was no other wrestlers in Stoke. It was just me on my own. And because of responsibilities at home, it was hard for me to just get to places whenever I wanted to, So I did just take that advice on board and I'll just learn as I go. But it was a bit tricky for me. But I did learn as I go. And also I did, I trained as much as I possibly could. I learned, I took on as much advice as I possibly could. And then I went from there.
That's crazy, then. But yeah, it'd start for like once a month. But like I said, you don't know. You're not, it's not the kind of information that's readily available. And, it's just like, well, it's now, but, not 10 years ago kind of thing. It's now, I've said it before, I don't think you're more than 30 minutes away from a wrestling school nowadays, no matter where you are kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, now, back in the day.
Completely different now. Like I took my break because I needed to take a break at the time. But you never really truly leave wrestling. And then I knew that there was a school in Stoke, and there was two lads. Oh, because let me rewind a bit. So I make gear, as you know. Do you know I make gear?
Yep.
I make wrestling gear. So I started making wrestling gear just before lockdown, because I just I'm creative. I was just itching and I needed to do something, so I started making gear. And I was approached by two young boys at the time, which were Act 2, so Connor and Jack Knudsen, and they contacted me for gear. So I was like, Stoke boys, Stoke wrestlers, oh my God, of course. So I made them some gear, and then we got chatting a bit more, and I found out like they train in Stoke as well. So I was just like, would you mind if I came along sometime, just so I can like maybe do some bumps again and do some rolls again and maybe just have a bit of a wrestle? And I did. So I went down, and those two are the nicest boys ever. They just absorb wrestling and love wrestling. And I do personally want to like thank Jack, because he has helped me so much like with wrestling since I've come back. Like, that boy is incredible, and he's going so far. Like, he's great. I mean, both of them are fantastic, but Jack is he runs the foundation classes at New Wave Wrestling in Stoke, and that boy is so good, brilliant. He's helped me so much. But yeah,
I mean,
I'm
that's
skipping a bit here.
no, it's fine. You just mentioned New Wave. Yeah, that's the school that seems to be popping up all over my socials at the minute. You know, the videos they're posting, the people they've had there. Looks like an amazing place. So,
Honestly, like, it's so good. Like, so I think so the new the Act Two boys, I think because they were training with Gav Flash Morgan, and I think they were trying to push him and encourage him to buy a school in Stoke. And he loves them boys anyway, so we did. He brought the school, and now I just feel so like spoiled now. Before, like, about, I had no training, and now I feel spoiled, because not only have I got a training school in Stoke that's open like 4 or 5 days a week, it's run by Flash Morgan, who is a fantastic wrestler and a fantastic trainer. He's absolutely brilliant. And then he's taken Jack on as well as another trainer who is doing the foundation classes. And yeah, he's brilliant. I just praise him, because, again, like, I've been to so many schools in the past, and I'm one of these people that feels like a bit of an outcast. I don't really belong in a group. I don't always, yeah, you're an outcast too. I like being an outcast though. I'm not like good with clicks and stuff like that. I'm just, whereas in the training school in Stoke, I've never felt so welcome in a wrestling school in all my life. And like, I just feel like it's family now. I've got a little family, and it's just fantastic. I can't praise them enough. And I'm not just praising them because they're in Stoke. Like, genuinely, they are brilliant. They're so good.
They could be from anywhere. You still get the love. It's not a Stoke bias. I love that too. I had them on a couple of months ago. I had the pleasure of talking to. They were the first tag team guests that I've had on here, kind of thing. Both guys are just unreal. Nothing but love and appreciation for those two guys. I think they're, the sky's the limit, and I wish, they'll get there sooner rather than later, and I think they will.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to dress them.
Yes. That's it. So by doing so, like, when they sell merch, if it's got them on the merch, make sure you get image rights from your merch being on their merch.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Get that percentage. Get the percentage. But that's it. So I mean, obviously, since you've come back, I say it's just a whole new world. Like, obviously from the first time around to the second time around, you kind of just stop and think, like, if it was like this 10 years ago, it just would have been, like, say, you're doing one training session a month for a year. You would have been like, after a year, you'd have been like 100 training sessions in, as opposed to like 12.
I know, yeah. But it was hard when I came back, because I think the girls have really picked the pace up now. Like, they want a wrestling match as long as a men's match. They want to go as hard as the men do. That's absolutely awesome. I didn't realize it as much. And I had like a couple of training sessions with Lana, and she was like, "We don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore." And I was like, "I'm so glad I've come to you, because I just didn't know." So she really helped me when I first came back. Like, just telling me, like, just advising me on things like, we do, we can do this now, and we can do this now, and so that helped a lot.
It's a lot more equal footing, like you said, I mean, there's some promotions that don't even have men or women's titles. They just have titles, like North. You can have, obviously, man or woman, just go for the belt. It's perfectly fine. I've seen Rio just messing guys up left, right, and centre for some titles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wrestled Ryan Myatt for the Pro Wrestling for You heavyweight championship recently, and like I will go on to Pro Wrestling for You.
I was going to mention that because I want to mention the tag team match that you had there as well. Anyway, so yeah.
Oh, I did, yeah. I've done quite a lot there now. Phil is awesome because again, since I've had my break with wrestling and then I came back, I've come back with a new attitude. And that is, I just want to have some fucking fun.
Let's fucking go.
And I don't want to just wrestle the girls. I'll wrestle anyone now. Like, I've just that mentality, just sod it. What we doing? Who we doing? Come on, I'm up for it. So when I sat and had a chat with Phil, I was just like, I'm up for anything. Like, I will literally wrestle anyone you want me to wrestle because it's experience. I also feel like I need to be toughened up a bit. I don't know, I think because in my everyday life I'm like quite a shy person. I'm not very confident. So, and I'm too nice. I get told all the time, you're too nice, you are. Sorry. I apologize all the time as well. So sometimes it's like I need to be toughened up a bit. I need to be pushed around a bit. So sometimes I feel like maybe if I wrestle some other boys, they'll toughen me up a bit. And I need it. I don't mind it. But
exactly the same. You know, when somebody says don't apologise, I'm like, sorry. You just get it, sorry. You get stuck in a sorry loop. You're apologising for apologising for apologising. It's like that.
I'm terrible for it. I do it at training all the time. Like, and they're always saying like, why are you apologising? I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's just
I hate that saying though. You know, it's just too nice. I don't believe in that. Yeah, you can't be too nice. You can be too nice to the wrong people, but you can't be too nice to certain people. So
buttons I will blow up. But
yeah. Got a feeling again, very similar in the sense of like, you know, we're not short fused, we're quite long fused. But when that fuse gets down, you know, it's
I know, yeah.
Yeah, we don't snap a lot, so it's not a short fuse, so it's not little minor explosions. You know, it's a long fuse, and when it gets to the bottom, it's just like duck for cover kind of thing. Yeah. Right, the tag team I was going to mention was I can't not mention him. As soon as I saw his name, I was like Wing Commander Nash, and obviously JC Thunder. That's JC from True Grit. You got the pleasure of working with JC and Wing Commander Nash, which I just can't imagine it being able to keep a straight face personally.
No. That's correct. Wing Commander Nash. I would wrestle him any day, and I would happily be in a tag team with him any day because that guy is so much fun to work with. It's hard as well because you're like, when you're tagging and you know, like you're going over stuff, and then when you're actually in the ring, sometimes you just stop and you just watch him because you can't help it because he's so entertaining and you know he's just going to do something, so you've got to watch your back as well. But he's brilliant. He is brilliant. But both of them, JC was fun to work with as well.
JC's awesome. Yeah, not to besmirch JC, but it's just, you know, so to be just under Nash is not a bad thing, kind of thing. So there was also, you know, I tweeted about this earlier just because I like any excuse just to rub him up the wrong way or poke the bear kind of thing. You beat Sash at Pro Wrestling for You as well.
That was brilliant. That was. Yeah. Do you know what? When I was saying to you, I wanted to be tough. I want to be toughened up. Yeah. He was easy. He didn't toughen me up at all. I think I had to toughen him up a bit.
That's, you know, I mean, he's so used to hiding behind people. You know, the money buys him protection normally. You know, when he actually has to do it himself, it's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Probably not quite. He said it was a fluke as well, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah, that wasn't a fluke. That was like, I don't know. I was honestly expecting him to like, hit me hard. I think I hit him harder, and he was just like, "Nah, that was easy. That was easy." If he wants to wrestle again, I'll happily wrestle him again, and I'll smack him a little bit harder just to show him up.
Let's just make it best of 7, and it's not even the first of 5. You can just whoop him 7 times.
Yeah, I really would. The only thing he's got is a mouth.
I'm saying all this. I know this is going to be on Twitter tomorrow at some point. He'll have found it, and he'll have got his group of editors, or he'll have paid somebody to do it, and then it'll just be besmirching this and be like, meh, meh, meh. They're always talking about me.
Then, hi, Sash.
Complete other end of the spectrum. I popped huge when you and Isaac North together. To me, that was like, that just makes so much sense, and that is just as soon as I see you two come out at any show, it's just like, it's just money for me. I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, I love working with him.
He's cool, isn't he? He's an awesome guy.
When I came back to wrestling again, I did my homework and I looked at the scene and who's around now and new faces, if old faces are still around. And I came across him and I was like, he'd be really fun to work with. Like, I loved his look. There's not many people like him either. And I don't know, I just got like a good vibe from him. And I put off messaging him for a while, and I just thought, I don't want like seem like a weirdo and just like, I think I should wait for you. Do you want to valet? And then Phil booked him at Pro Wrestling for You, and I was like, brilliant. And so I said to Phil, like, I'm gonna ask him if I can like work with him or something. And then Phil just put us on the spot, and he was like, Anna's got something to ask you. So I was like, oh, sorry. I was like,
what he said.
I
had him on the show, and that's exactly what he sort of said. He met you at a show kind of thing, and literally, like, you were both there. And, the promoter was just like, right, you two want to work together? So let's do it.
Yeah. And then so I said to him, I was like, well, now I've asked you and you've said yes. Do you want to have some promo shots done together? I've already brought all my stuff. Like, I already knew he was going to say yes. And then so we had some pictures taken with Toni, and I was literally just draping myself all over him because I just wanted the pictures to look good, and he didn't make me feel uncomfortable or anything. And like, honestly, the relationship me and Isaac have, it's almost like we've always known each other. Like, I can't even explain it. It's like we've just always known each other, and this is why we just get on so well and just connect so well. And I love working with him. I just wish we could work together, more, really. Like, I just want to do more like over 18 shows with him, because I just think we could push boundaries a bit.
The violence you could do.
Yeah, exactly. I just I love it. I just love it. We did Rise together last month, but he's got some other like kind of stories going on there. But we did like a Harley Quinn Joker kind of like relationship, and he was like quite rough and mean with me, but it was just so much fun. It was just awesome. And then we did Infamous last week, and there was weapons and stuff involved in that, and I got to use a kendo stick. And I don't know, I think it worked for us with weapons. It's awesome. And like, there's so much trust between us as well, and we can sort of just look at each other and already have that conversation. And yeah, it works. I love him. He's just awesome.
That's amazing. I always like to wind him up as well, because especially at like Odyssey and stuff. The Odyssey promoter was sort of telling me, there's like a group of female fans that are strangely, they love the bad boy, and he's become a bit of a sex symbol over in Morecambe kind of thing. And a few more people I know have been like, oh, he's dreamy. I'm like, I always kind of just message him. I'm like, dude, you need to get a T-shirt or something that just says bad boy sex symbol or something along those lines.
Sexy goth boy.
That's it. That's what it was. Sexy goth boy. He just obviously probably just laughs it off and goes, "Oh," I'm like, "No, dude, there's merch to be sold there. Trust me, you could make some money off of that."
I love that. Oh, brilliant. Oh, yeah. Everyone loves him, though. Even when he's trying to be a bad guy, like, the kids love him. Like, there's a couple of kids that always come to shows and they've always got his face paint on,
Oh,
always. And they just love him. And there was one
that's awesome.
particular show we did, I think it was Win in Newcastle. And I just decided to stay a little bit longer at the end and just join the meet and greet. Even though I'm the bad guy, I just wanted to join the meet and greet because I like to hear what the fans like are interested in and who they're there to cheer and boo. I just want to hear it. And there were so many people asking me if Isaac had a t-shirt or is Isaac coming out, and he's the bad guy, but the kids just love him. They love him. They love a wrestler with, like, face paint and stuff. I mean, like, look at the Undertaker and Kane, and they all loved him. All loved them because he had such a scary, cool gimmick, and they just want to be friends with it and they want to like it. And yeah,
There's probably be nice to him, and then he won't get us. That's the logic. It's like if I befriend him, then he'll be nice to me. I don't have to be scared anymore.
yeah, yeah. But kids just like kids when they like watch wrestling and they want to do wrestling, they want to have the masks and the face paints and stuff, and because it's more memorable to them, So I think that's why, like, kids always remember Isaac and like Isaac because he's the scary looking dude.
It stands out there. When he stands out, you put him on a poster, the kids are going to see him. Yes, it comes out. I got my mate sent me video footage from Burning Heart last weekend in Liverpool. I was talking to him about it. Ash, who does the Instagram, he was sort of saying, like, he was sat near the ramp. There's loads of kids around him at one point. And then Isaac came out and he kind of had the towel in. He lifted the towel up and roared. And he literally said like 20 kids just pelted it to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Probably one for him gradually.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's so tall as well. And yeah, he just looks so different, and so he just draws attention to himself, and that's wrestling. He's got it.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying that, that's, as I said before, you put him on a poster, he gets eyes. I think, the same, you put both of you guys on a poster.
Yeah.
That to me is tickets. You kind of represent everything that is wrestling should be, in the sense of getting eyes on the prize, on the products.
Yeah.
If I saw you on a poster or I saw you on a social media post, I'm like, all right, yes, all right, I'm going to that show because that looks awesome.
Yeah. Because you kind of know what you're getting as well. You see me and Isaac on a poster, and you're just like, they're the scary ones, they're the bad guys. I want to see that. but immediately, like, and I just like, I love walking out with him. Or like, so sometimes he'll change his music, and then like I'm like, oh, what are we walking out to today? I have no idea. He's picked something scary, but like everything's timed and done well, and I love that, like, because your entrance music is just as important as everything else. Because I think I said it on Twitter recently. It's all part of because wrestling is art. Everything down to what you wear, the music you pick, the gear you wear, the promo that you make, it's all art, and I love it. So like how like specific he is with his music and the timings, and like he'll just like kind of like just push me a bit, like, go on, you can go out now, and I'm like, okay, I'll just pose. But I love it. I love it because, like, it's the art of wrestling, and yeah, I love it.
Perfect analogy. Like I said, every single element makes for the whole picture kind of thing. You could, if you're doing a painting, you don't want to miss a spot off over there, and that could be the entrance, or you don't want to miss a spot off down here, which is just your mannerisms or your expressions. Like, just everything makes for a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I get because there's nothing like what you see promos and stuff, and I find it like disheartening and a bit like when you see somebody sat on the sofa doing a promo or sat in the car. And then like BA Rose did a promo recently.
The kitchen.
How of that? So amazing. I was just like, that's a promo. That's how you do a promo. That is brilliant.
Yes.
It was so good. And I enjoyed that so much because it gave me the chills. And I was like, I couldn't stop watching. And I was like, this is so good. Whereas when you look at the other promos and they're just kind of sit in the car trying to be intimidating, and I'm like, I'm not intimidated by it because you sat on Tesco car park in a car telling someone that you're going back to them, like, you don't look hard.
No.
I'm not convinced. Like, I'm sorry to anyone that's done the promos from the cars or the sofas.
Don't apologise. No, they need to be told sometimes. Sometimes you got to be tough to be mean. So it's a critique. Yeah. Like, now they know, they can learn. Don't do it again.
Yeah. So, but if you're putting like all your effort into like getting your gear made and stuff, and you want the best of the best gear, make sure your promos equal to that as well.
Don't stagger stuff. Yeah, don't have great stuff here, mediocre stuff over here, all right stuff there. Amazing. It's consistent.
Good. And then I just I saw Gene Money's promo for North recently. That was so good. Did you see that one with the Guess Who? Yeah. Oh, that was so
good. There's a few people who just get it, especially using social media nowadays. That's obviously something else that's a massive difference. The last few years, they've got this platform where they can advertise what they do for free.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you use it? Why wouldn't you utilize that and put some effort into it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Like, just wrestling's creative, and so get creative with it. And I know like some people don't really like doing promos. I totally get that. Like, it is a bit daunting sometimes when you got to just sit there and think, right, how am I going to tell this person that I want batter them, but in like a really cool way? It's
sometimes
hard.
just no words needed. Just a menacing look into a camera and then fade to black. You're like, oh, okay, right, there we go. No words needed. There you go.
Yeah. So I haven't done that many promos, but if I'm going to do them going forward, which I am planning on doing, I want to be creative. Like, I want to be creative. I can't just like stand against a white wall and do it. Like when I had to do that one for Pro Wrestling View with Cash, I was like, because his promos are so very, you know what you're getting. I was like, I'm just gonna copy him. So like I did a promo. Did you see the one I did of him?
No, I need to go check it out after this.
Okay. I'll explain it to you because you've already seen his promos, right? I had 3 pairs of sunglasses on. I had 3 pairs of glasses on, and I was dressed like Sash. I had a suit on. So every time I said something, I took a pair of glasses off, and I still had another pair on underneath. It was funny. It was like comic. So I did that because I think my character, what I'm going for at Pro Wrestling for You, I'm a bit more playful there. So I was like, I'm just going to use comedy because I like comedy.
That's genius. That's absolutely genius. I need to go see that after this. I need to, and if I find it on YouTube or somewhere, I'll post a link in the episode description for other people to see, because that just sounds, pun intended, it just sounds money. So I'm like, yeah, okay, we need to watch this. Before talking to Isaac, I think you're going to be of the same mindset. He's talking about taking inspiration from outside sources. You don't take inspiration. Obviously, you mentioned like Stephanie and Sherry and stuff like that. That's awesome. I get that. But for the new stuff, taking inspiration from like films or music videos or things like that.
Yeah. yeah. I mean, he's really into his horror and stuff. I'm not, but I do appreciate like a good character. I don't mind like 90s horrors and stuff, 80s horrors, that's all good. But yeah, any kind of like I don't know, like comic villain or like TV villains, anything like that. I'll take inspiration from that as well. I think I can't remember who we talked about recently. Because I've been put on the spot, so I forgot.
Sorry.
But,
No, it's just not so much where you get the inspiration from, but just being able to look like you say at a TV show or a film or music videos is one that we talked about. That kind of there's a band called Tool. One of their videos just still freaks me out to this day. We talked about that just being like the movement of the wooden dolls. It's just like
yeah, for sure. Yeah, like a character that will always stand out for me is I can never pronounce the name properly, but Alaya that was in Queen of the Damned.
yes.
Like how her body moved and how slow she was with the voice, and like it's that's some. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Alaya anyway. She was amazing, but her in that movie was just like, wow, like she looks amazing. She sounds incredible. So yeah, that's why it's always good to like look at characters on TV and who you watch, and like, because especially like certain characters like that, that you can't forget. They'll always stick in your mind because of how they acted. Like recently, the most I've watched horror films and I've watched villains and stuff, but the most terrifying villain I have ever seen is Homelander in The Boys. I don't know if
Yes.
terrifying.
Yes. Just the way his face changes.
His face. Oh my god. Honestly, he's absolutely terrifying. First time I watched that, I was just like, I am genuinely scared of this man. Like, he's terrifying. Like, he is the worst villain I've ever seen on TV. He's so scary because he just makes it so real. And that's what it is. You gotta make it real. And yeah. So
just how quickly his expression changes. He can go. I think there was like one episode where he did something. They looked away and he just smiled like somebody was about to take a picture. He does look really evil.
yeah.
And then he just turned his head and he was just like, the poster boy for, freaking superheroes kind of thing. It's like, it's just effortless.
Oh god, yeah, he's terrifying. Like I'm watching season 3 at the minute. I've just watched the next episode, and again, he was just like his face, just that evil smile, and then yeah, you can just turn it off, and I'm like, that's horrible, scary, but also very good acting.
Have you? So I've got a sidebar because we just talking about The Boys. I can't not kind of just mention. So have you watched series 3 before? Or is this your first time viewing series 3?
Of The Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going. What season on the tally now? 4.
On series 4, yeah.
I'm on season 4. I'm watching it now, like weekly.
That's fine. I thought he was playing catch up. I thought, right, okay, now series 4 started. You just kind of got, you just kind of catching up with because series 4 had started. But yeah, perfect analogy. Then you're up to series 4. The last episode with the glass when it was splintered, and you just had like different personality reflections.
Yes, yes, it's so good. Like that would look incredible as a wrestling promo. Do you know what I mean? How good would that be if like somebody did like something like that, like in a mirror? That'd be so cool.
Can you imagine Isaac but with different face paint?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, I don't know if it'd be doable, how it would be doable, but that would just be like,
I know that's the thing. Got to be really cool with like video technology and stuff. I'm still learning. I'm a bit of a lady with it.
I do this on my phone. I'm literally sat here on the floor talking to you on my phone. We don't have the snazzy graphics. I kind of try and make up with it with genuine, passion and enthusiasm, but I'm not tech savvy. I'll just be like, I could draw it. If you ever wanted a picture drawing of it, I could draw that for Isaac. But yeah, I couldn't do the video edit.
Yeah, for sure. But I am going to try and learn how to do stuff. I mean, I'm currently trying to just edit a highlight video, and I'm just like, I might just pay someone to do this for me.
Send it to Jeebus. Just tell him sort him out some free merch or something. Get in contact with Jeebus. You know, he does it all the time. He knows what he's doing.
I met him on the weekend. Lovely man.
Yeah.
Lovely man.
We love Jeebus. Again, Sideboy just does so much for, you know, he gets so much eyes on just British wrestling, you know, for people who can't go to shows. I was just ended up, you know, watching his reels and being like I saw, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I think it might have been at Rise, you know, I'm pretty sure based on the highlight reel, it looks like you turned on Isaac at the end. You proper clattered him.
Yeah. So like the last show before, I was naughty and like I blew some of his black mist. I was supposed to like blow it in Tim's face, but like Tim moved out of the way.
That was it, Tim's friend. Yeah, Isaac versus Tim.
So he was still a bit pissed off with me. So I think because the match wasn't going the way he wanted to go on the last show, he took it out on me. And then he went to give me a big choke bomb, but Lou Nixon saved me.
If anyone's going to save you, it's going to be big fucking Lou. You know, that's just, I mean, just the sort of stuff you guys are involved in at the minute. Like you just mentioned there, Tim Strange, Lou Nixon.
Yeah.
It's like you just getting to work, you know, rightly so, because, you know, you guys are up there kind of thing, you know, you by yourself or, you know, you with Isaac kind of thing. You know, I think, you know, since you've took that, you know, a few years out and you come back, you know, you've kind of, you know, the momentum is, you're snowballing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've just done a little road trip with Tim and Lou actually, because I went up to Scotland, so I returned to Scotland, which is awesome. And I did some shows for W3L, and I remember I worked for them years ago, and like I didn't realize it was them at first, and then Tim said like, you know, I've got you booked up there, so I was like, awesome, thank you. So I went up and then I was like, Mike, I remember you. And it was still some of the old faces were still there. And it was so nice to see everyone. Everyone was so welcoming and just lovely. And I just had an awesome time up there. And Mike was like, I want you back next week. So I was like, I'll be back. Awesome. Yeah, I'm sort of that. So thank you for that.
I was going to say shout out to Ruby, the basic bitch slayer as well. I believe that was your opponent for the night.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun wrestling Ruby. I enjoyed that because I'd met her once before, and like I did say to her, like, oh, it would be lovely to like actually meet you in the ring and wrestle you. So I finally got to wrestle her again, and I think I'm going to be wrestling her a few more times this year as well. Ooh, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, I like her. She's good.
She's awesome. Again, I've had the pleasure of speaking to her on here, kind of thing. I think we talked like half wrestling, and then half the show was talking about Buffy. So it was just like, yeah, awesome. That's me quite happy. So, just to rewind, just to bullet point: Queen of the Damned doesn't get enough love. It doesn't. Everybody thinks of Interview with a Vampire. Not enough people think of Queen of the Damned. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, do you know what? There's quite a few vampire films that people always forget about, which like hurts my feelings because I love vampire films. And people always forget that Eddie Murphy did a vampire film as well.
Vampire in Brooklyn, yes.
I'm like a big Eddie Murphy fan, so.
I think I've seen it once. I need to revisit it again, to be fair. But right, I'm just going to quickly pick your brain on this one. Then I do movie polls on Facebook. You know, I've been doing them recently, like through decades. So we had like the best film in the 80s, best film in the 90s, noughties and 10s. Basically, The Lost Boys got voted best film in the 80s.
Yeah.
So that got put into the final against the other three films. So basically, we had 4 films, 4 decades, public votes, and apparently, Lost Boys is the best film in the last 40 years.
Yeah. Is this just vampire film or just 80s film in general?
In everything, every film from the 80s I could think. I started off with about 200 films, and it got down to Lost Boys. So, you know, like Back to the Future is in there.
So yeah, I think most of my favorite films are from the 80s. See, I can't just pick a favorite film. I have to like pick a favorite film from a genre.
Okay. I was doing top five. I just have to do it. I'm always a top five kind of person, but
Right.
yeah, Lost Boys. I just thought that was quite very, very cool. So I just thought I'd shout that out there. And
I think that's going to be a tattoo I'm going to have at some point as well. Like, yeah.
The poster, or just Michael's face, or Kiva's face, or the Frog Brothers.
It'll have to be Kiefer Sutherland. It's got to be him. It's got to be him because his face just looks awesome. Yes. Like I always said, I'd never get portrait tattoos done, but I got Eddie Murphy done, and then I got Blade Runner done because Blade Runner's my favorite sci-fi film. I absolutely love it. So I got like that done.
Nice.
I can't really show you that side, but that's Rachel. But yeah, I've got Eddie Murphy on the back of my calf because I love Eddie Murphy.
From what film? Or from Raw, or is it from anything?
It's from Raw. I mean, my favorite comedy film from the 80s is Coming to America.
Nice.
That's my absolute favorite. But the tattoo is a picture of him from Raw.
Nice. With the leather suit.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh.
But I could talk to you for another hour for 80s movies, honestly. So if you ever want to do like another episode on just 80s movies, I am here.
Oh my days, that's amazing. Because that's the thing as well, though. Just we'll get back to the wrestling in a minute, I promise you. But like when I do these polls, when I did the 80s ones, I literally did like 1 year at a time kind of thing. And 81, 82, 83, 84, went them all down. They were getting like 50, 60 votes, every day kind of thing. And then I did the 90s, and they might have got like 30 or 40 votes. And as I went on each decade, the interest went down. So it's just absolutely crazy, just the amount of interest. Yeah, just the 80s, just nostalgia. Like you had your Back to the Futures, obviously Beverly Hills Cop, Lost Boys, Trading Places, Coming to America. It was just amazing.
Yeah, so many great films. So many great films. Like Never Ending Stories, like repeated 5 times a day on Sky Movies. I'll still watch it because I love it.
Labyrinth is one as well, though, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right, wrestling. Sorry, wrestling.
Yeah,
we'll get back off this. Sorry, no, it's me. It's me. This is totally on my fault. I mentioned before we started talking, I was asking, shall I call you Violet Vendetta? Shall I call you Lady Anna? And you said there was a story behind it, so I'm going to pick your brain now for that story.
So when I came back to wrestling, so I took a break from wrestling. I was a little bit burnt out. I had quite a few injuries, and I just needed a rest, basically. Loads of other things happened. I'll save that for my book. But I went through quite a lot of shit, basically. So I just took that time to reflect, mature, figure out what I want to do with my life, and go from there. And then I realized I was missing wrestling because I needed to be creative again. I needed to perform. I needed to do something. So I got in touch with Phil, and I just asked him if I could maybe do some co-hosting on his shows again. But I could just come in as me. If you wanted to, you can just introduce me as like Anna Pat or whatever. And so he came up with the idea of Lady Anna. It was him that came up with Lady Anna. So I thought that's fine because, not your crowd might not know who I am now that I've taken this massive break, because you might have new customers and new guests, new fans. So yeah, I started to co-host, and I just co-hosted as me, and then we had this really cool story where I ended up coming to save somebody in the ring, which led me to start wrestling again. So instead of just reverting back to Violet Vendetta, I just thought I'll keep it to Lady Anna, because the crowd all know who I am, and they're all on my side, and they're all rooting for Lady Anna. So that's why Lady Anna is just Lady Anna in Stoke.
That's right. That's awesome.
Anywhere else, I'm Violet. but just in Stoke. I'm like, so Contrent's little goth princess, Lady Anna.
That's it. I was gonna say, yeah. So in the home turf, like, yeah, you're a lady there. You like say you're the goth princess. You know, you get that respect. You're just like, right, okay, we know who. We don't mess with the lady.
Yeah, it's nice because like, when I'm like wrestling and stuff, you like when people chant my name, like it's just like Violet kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah, cool, that's my wrestling name. But when I'm wrestling in Stoke and people are actually chanting my actual name, it's like, this is a bit weird. Like, my family came to watch me wrestle for the first time when I wrestled Ryan. And my brother had never seen me wrestle before. And he got like, not emotional, but like, I think he was just proud because he was just like, it was awesome because everyone was cheering your name and you were battering this guy. I was like, it's what I do. But it was just really sweet to have my family there and hear the whole room chant my name, and just make my family proud as well. So it was nice. But obviously outside of Stoke, I'm Violet and I'm mean and I like being mean.
It works, you know. It's working for you perfectly. So, you know, keep doing it, kind of thing. So obviously, you know, yeah, you mentioned, you know, you're going to be, you know, back up in Scotland a few times. You know, they want you back. I said it before. You know, the momentum is so on your side right now. You just seem to be, you know, whether it's as, you know, Lady Anna, whether, you know, you're getting Isaacs back. You just, I think, you know, the next 6 months. I'm honestly just excited to see what you do and what you do for the next 6 months.
Yeah, I don't want to burn myself out again like I did before because I was wrestling every single weekend. Right now, like I love training. I love learning new things. Like, because I've literally stripped my training down, and I'm training Gav's way and Tom's way, Jack's way. Like I'm taking on board everything they're saying. I thought I picked up some bad habits over the past, but like the more I wrestle and training, the more I'm like, no, actually, it wasn't so bad. It's just fine. I'm just picking the pace up. Muscle memory, as everyone keeps saying. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to work on my confidence at the minute because I know that is an issue for me. So the better my confidence get, maybe the more I'll pick up a bit more and I'll advertise myself a bit more. But if anyone is showing like keen interest in me and they want to work with me because they like who I am and they like what I do, fuck me, I'll come and work for you.
Yes. We sponsor True Grit. I can't make any promises, but I'll just keep badgering JC. JC knows you, so you know, I mean, every time.
Yeah,
just like,
I'd love to work there with Isaac. I think we fit in really well there.
You would, yeah, I agree.
To work there.
They're kind of missing, you know. Oh, I say they're missing. Kemper's working at the minute. You know, he's a big boy. Isaac versus Kemper would just be, yeah. You know, I'd pay double money to see that.
Yeah, I just in that beautiful church that they have as well. That's perfect for me and Isaac.
Oh.
I mean, it might burn when we walk in.
I'd say if you could get through the doors, yeah, that'd be fine. I can imagine you coming out with sheets on, kind of thing, just be like,
yeah. But yeah, there's quite a few places that we would love to work together. Like I say, we do want to get ourselves out there a bit more together. But so sometimes people just want Isaac and they don't really want to ballet with him, or they might have their own ideas for him. But I wish we could just come as a package sometimes.
They don't want to put off the you know, the female admirers in some places. You know, the sexy goth boy. You know, he just needs to go, you know, alone sometimes, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, but we are trying to get out of there a bit more. I want us up like Scotland a bit more as well. That'd be really cool. But just like we seem to be working in the northeast, southwest, northwest a lot. Sorry.
Just everywhere. I always get it wrong. I'm always really paranoid about offending somebody. It's like, oh, somewhere in the northwest of Liverpool, and like, no, mate, we're in the northeast. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah, so bad. I never eat shredded wheat. That's it. So
Somewhere over there.
Yeah, just over that side.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing as well. Well, I was going to say, obviously you took that 4 year, break. It must have been like, I've kind of mentioned it before, but when you came back, I said about just the amount of schools that are about now, kind of thing. But the amount of promotions that are about now, you must have just come back and it had just been like, whoa, it probably would have been daunting if it was the size it was 10 years ago. But it's so much bigger now, and then to come back into that,
Yeah.
Did you feel it?
I have to, sometimes I'll just message someone that I've become friends with since coming back and just being like, who's this? Who's running this one? Who's this? And because because there's some promotions as well that are still going, but it's not the same promoters. Like some other people have taken them on, and I didn't even know that. So I've been finding that out as well. But it is it's overwhelming how much wrestling there is. But it's awesome though. As long as you're running them correctly and you're paying your staff, you're paying your workers, you're promoting them correctly, and you're not like pouring your personal life online as well and all that kind of thing, because I have seen some of this recently. But there's a lot of promotions. I mean, in Stoke we've got Pro Wrestling for You. I think there's another one that runs around the corner. I can't remember what they're called. Then obviously Gav's running trainee shows now, and then we also get the traveling wrestling companies that come into Stoke. Like I said, when I was doing wrestling like a long time ago, there was hardly anything there, but now it's awesome that it's everywhere, but it's also overwhelming because I'm like, well, should I contact them?
I mean, coming back into it, just it's daunting enough as it is, after a break. Thankfully everybody's awesome and very welcoming. But yeah, it would just be like walking out from like a really small village into like flipping New York City or something. It's just lights and brightness and noise and everything everywhere.
But also, I do find it a little bit daunting as well when I'm like going to shows, because obviously back in the day when I was going to shows, I knew everyone. So it wasn't like scary for me, whereas because I've got like social anxiety, and sometimes I think people think I'm a bit rude because I've just got this sour face when I go to shows, but I'm really nervous. I'm clearly on the spectrum as well, so like I never know how to approach people, so I just don't. So I think people might think I come across as rude, but if you come to me like awesome, I'll shake your hand, I'll give you a big hug and whatever, but I'm just not very good with meeting new people. I'm just not very good with it, and I've already like had a conversation in my head and worked it up and like just been like, just don't talk to these people because they don't want to talk to you anyway. So I'm like, okay, I'll just stand here, I'll just stand in this corner, I'll just stand near somebody that I know. But yeah.
I've always said that I would I've always said I would never have made it in the wrestling business, because purely for the rule of shaking hands, showing respect kind of thing. If you go into a new locker room, you're meant to go around, introduce yourself, say hi and everything like that. I'd be blackballed in a space of about 2 months if I was a wrestler, because I'd be booked somewhere, I'd go in, I'd find the quietest corner, I'd just sit down and keep myself to myself, and I'd look like a right, ignorant kind of rude.
Yeah.
Same as you. If you come to me, man, I will chat your ear off for the next 10, 15 minutes.
Exactly.
If you start the conversation. I ain't starting the conversation.
Yeah. I just talk, like my head talks me out of everything so much. Again, I think it is a confidence thing as well, with having like, all these anxiety problems and zero confidence. So I struggle just approaching people. But if I already know you, it just, oh my God, it makes me feel so much better when I'm on a show and I'm like, I know someone. But I am trying my best to like get to know people a bit more. people need to be patient with me.
It takes time. It takes confidence, like you said, and it'll happen. The more shows you go to, the more people.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up. Don't second guess it. It's one of those things that will happen naturally, just as you keep going, kind of thing. So people know you. They know you're awesome. So that's what you got to worry about.
That's the thing. Like once we get talking, like I'm the nicest person. But just people. Yeah. They scare me.
No, I'm right there. But I've just noticed we have gone over the hour mark. I told you it would be. Yeah, no, it's fine. I told you though, once we got talking, it was just like, oh crap, right, look at that. So you mentioned obviously making the ring gear and stuff like that. Can people, if anybody wants anything doing, any ring gear designing, can they get in contact with you directly? Is there a website? How do they tap you up to get, or not get stuff
I've
made?
got an Instagram, but I have just I'm still fully booked.
Wow.
Like I've just taken way too much on, and I burnt myself out a bit. To me, like I'm still new to like how to run a business properly and all this kind of thing. And also, again, because I'm too nice, so I say yes to everything. Oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. So I've put a stop to that now. My books are closed. That way, I can't take on any more work. I'm gonna just finish my backlog. I'm taking a little break. Because I think I might be doing some camp shows over the summer. I might be doing a little bit. So, I just want to be able to relax and just wrestle when I want and just have a break from sewing if I can afford to. But like as of September, I've already got my wait list that's going to keep me booked until January. So I can't even properly advertise myself.
All right, we'll scrub that then. But we'll say next year. If you want anything, hit Anna up next year.
Yeah, thank you.
No more pressure. Yeah. Obviously, we're sponsored by a company called Fast Count. His mate called Ben. He's been doing a lot of t-shirt designs recently. He's only been around for like a few months, but he's been smashing it. But same thing, he's got like a list of wrestlers like to do t-shirt designs for. Because they've seen one on the scene, they're like, "Oh, can we do this? Can we do that?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And then you say yes so many times, and you write them all down. It's like, oh crap.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's so hard because then, because I'm a procrastinator as well. So in my head, I'm like, I'll be fine because I'll just do it on this day. And then this day comes and it's like, oh shit, actually, I haven't got that much. I probably shouldn't be saying that, but I can't help it. It's just how my brain works. Like I have to work to a deadline. That's when things get done because I just struggle otherwise. But always get my stuff done anyway. But I have enjoyed it though. I absolutely love making gear. It's such a passion of mine, and I'm so glad that I get to make people's gear and then be at a show and see them wrestle in it too. And I'm like double proud. It's so nice. But yeah, I like that. It's cool.
It's awesome. It's very, very awesome. It's I get anything creative makes me smile. It pops me. Anything. I do artwork. I do drawings. If somebody does painting, somebody does like you say ring gear, anything that just takes like a little bit of creativity. I just think it's awesome. So kudos to anyone and everyone who does the creative stuff. Give yourself a pat on the back. So
because being self-employed is not easy.
What's that? Sorry.
Because being self-employed is not easy.
No.
Especially creative. I couldn't do a normal job. I just no. I've got to do something mad.
The thing is I'm just going back. It's like, how did you when you first started, did you struggle with the pricing? Because I know when I've done artwork for people or something, and then well, how much do you want for it? And I'm like, I'll just take it. And then you kind of like, no, right, I need to charge for it. I need the money, kind of thing. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, it's fine, just take it. I'm like, no, can't do that.
I was in the beginning, yeah. I did some work for a friend, and I barely charged anything. I just got him to pay for the fabric. Because in my head, I was like, I shouldn't be allowed to charge so much. because like I'm still new to it. But no, I've got a better pricing system, and I've been told by a few people that I charge fair prices. So I'm like, okay, it's cool.
That's all you can do. Like so I said, yeah, look what everybody else is charging. If it's a little bit under, if it's the same, that's fine. You're just convincing yourself, like, right, it's okay to charge people. You know, they know it's going to cost them. They still want it.
Yeah,
it's all right. Ask for the money.
Yeah, I work hard as well. Like I work damn hard. I worked that hard last year, right? Get off on one again. I worked that hard that I got rushed into hospital because I had a suspected stroke.
Oh my!
Working too hard. Well, apparently it was an extreme migraine because I was working too much.
Jeez. Yeah. Step back. That's when you need to be like, right.
Yeah.
We'll take a few days off and then just be like, yeah, okay. We'll start again on Monday.
Yeah. Always Monday.
Right. Right. I've kept you. Do you want to plug? No. You do not apologise. It's purely sort of. I always want to go on about tangents about 80s films and stuff before. So, where can people find you on the socials and see what you're up to?
Okay, so go on my Instagram. That's where I'm most active. I am trying to keep up with Twitter, but I just don't. But I'm like at Anna Pat ___ because there's obviously loads of Anna Pats. But yeah, if you follow me on there, I'm always posting regular stuff on there all the time, whether that's like match graphics or like new modeling sets or anything like that, or just funny memes.
Nice. That's it. So obviously, like I said, Ash does our Insta. So when this drops tomorrow, he'll tag you in on an Insta kind of thing, just to let you know it's on there. Obviously, I'll tag you on Twitter. Obviously, you know, if you don't follow Anna on Insta or Twitter, please do so. Keep an eye out on what she's doing. If she's at a show near you, you know, go watch it. Go show some love and some support.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about vampire films, that's your icebreaker right there. If you see her,
yeah, I'm a goth. Come talk to me about vampires.
That's it. Honestly, Anna, thank you so much. This has been an absolute genuine. No, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. It's just, it kind of feels nice to kind of catch up. Like I said, you know, kind of interviewed you many years ago. It's nice to actually do it face to face and actually have a conversation this time.
Yeah. It's been fun. Thank you. I'm sorry if I babbled or I didn't answer questions or if I went off on a tangent again.
That is perfect. You've been an amazing guest. Do not apologise. This has been absolutely awesome. As I said to you beforehand, the less I talk, the happier kind of thing. I sometimes get too excited and jump in. I have to kind of pull myself back in again. But yeah, the less I talk, the happier I am. Nobody's watching this for me. They're watching it for you. So.
Order. See, now that's where the confidence is like, oh, thanks.
Well, I can say that I've got no confidence. So I know they're not watching for me. So there we go. But yeah, if whoever's watching and whoever you're watching it for, thank you for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, share, comment, do all the generic stuff that I always tell you to do. Keep your eyes peeled. Got some awesome stuff coming up over the next month. And we'll come back soon and watch the next episode. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.